Attention. Good evening. This is Sunday session for July 10th, 2022. Hopefully everybody has been having a good week. Great weekend. Everybody being safe. But we're here to talk about, what we're gonna look for next week. Of course, we got some earnings coming up at the end of the month. Definitely, something to look at is the tech sector. Let's go to the 1 week performance, of course. 1 week performance for the whole S&P 500. Microsoft did 4%, Apple did 7%, Google did almost 10%, Tesla's up 11%, Walmart did 3%. So, you're seeing things starting to turn a little bit green after them lows in June. We're not out the woods yet, of course, but there's always room for opportunities in the beginning of the month. We talked about that first of the month vibe so many times. You see that every first of the month, the market have a nice reaction. So you can plan for that at the end of every month and take advantage of it once that time come around. So congrats if you guys made some money last week off of anything. But here go the earnings list that's coming up, upcoming dates. Everything in pink is what's coming up, this month. July 19th, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan on the 14th of July. ExxonMobil on July 29th. That week of July 29th and the 28th is going to be packed. You got Boeing on the same week, Apple on the same week. QCOM is on that week. So it's going to be a lot of big earnings coming up. MRK is on the same week. ABBV is on the same week. So that last week of July is going to be a huge time to make a lot of money, either up or down. We just got to figure out which direction we're going to take. Is there going to be traction before earnings? Or is there going to be opportunity to take advantage of the market before earnings? So we're going to have to look at these charts. We're going to start setting our alerts. Make sure you guys got your pen, your pad. Get ready to take some notes. And let's get straight into it, man. It's going to be, I'm excited. Don't forget about Facebook, AKA Meta, is on the July 27th. So it's a whole lot going on. And let's see what we can do, man, for sure. Let's start off with, of course, SPY. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to take advantage of SPY. Day trade opportunities. I told you guys there's a lot of opportunity in SPY. Every time it does anything, up or down, you can see that you can make some money. Here go my SPY chart. This is the 4-hour chart, and I'm gonna start it all over just to start, if it was me coming in, as if I didn't, make no trades on it, or I'm seeing it fresh. So we're gonna look at the 1 week chart. On the 1 week chart, we got some big bullish candles starting to form in here between some red candles, but it is a higher low situation coming in on here. So of course we have to take, at least these 4 candles and set up your support and resistance using the quadrant lines. And just make sure that that's all you really need. You really don't need a whole bunch because we're going to get into it some more and do some more breakdown on different time frames, right? So, here go your support resistance again. This is your bottom. This is the area. If it breaks below 365, that can be, doomsday, of course. If it breaks back above this 390 area, that can be, we can make some money, right? So we know that those are your 2 goals, your 2 targets to either buy in, or buy more or whatever you want to do. And then you got the in between, support and resistances, just to show you guys, what's going on throughout the day or throughout the week, short-term targets. But this is how we set up our zone. So here you go right here. And I'm gonna take my time with you guys today, man, because I don't know if you guys are missing opportunities. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but it's so much to unpack when you're looking at these charts. It's amazing, definitely amazing. So here go your chart. You notice that I started off on the 1 month. I come down to the 4-hour chart. So 365.69 is the bottom support for SPY. If SPY ever comes back down to 365 and break that area, we can get a full downtrend. Down to 250, right? Or 350, sorry. But for now, these are the zones that we got set up on the 4-hour. I just take notes on each time frame and describe what I see, right? So the first thing I see, of course, is the double top when it came up here on the July 28th, when we had that nice little, I mean, that's June 28th, the 24th. We had a nice little run up to 329, gave you a double top scenario. And then it started to break back down. Now this is very important because I think people, kind of see a double top and then they like, okay, it didn't break. They don't really know what the decision to make there. You can also use the 384 as confirmation of more downside. But anything between 375 and 370 puts from this point down would have been cool. So never always pay attention to that big time frame because it's going to give you a window of opportunity no matter what. And then when it came down, it kind of gave you a small area of consolidation. This is, every time I tell you guys consolidation then direction, that's a very true statement. We can see that, plainly, right there. Let me change that color because you guys probably can't see it. Let me know if you guys can see it or not see it or whatever. Let me make it yellow. So we had this nice area of consolidation here. You know what I mean? This is, for the people that don't know how to trade the consolidation, this is your time to kind of sit back and let it wait. And I always tell you guys this, that, you can find consolidations on every time frame. And I'm going to show you today how you can find consolidations on every time frame. And there's always going to be a consolidation, then a direction. Notice here, we had our consolidation. Then once we popped up above the 384, we had a nice run to 389, 390, of course, right? But one thing that's important is, finding that bottom and trusting that bottom. So, you can always have that, you can always tell yourself, man, I can buy in at 377 and I can continue to buy the 380 call or 385 call and see what happened when it goes up to 384. Or, I can, do my quadrant lines before the consolidation, find that support back here, and then, add my lines in to see what dropped down below 377, which is around right here. Let me show you this right there. So that little area of trading, through from 375 all the way up to about 381 was your consolidation for SPY. And that's the end of the month. I told you our first of the month, we're going to have traction. And this gave you a good consolidation at the end of June. Here go the 1st, and here go the 5th. And then the 6th, we had the breakout. So don't be scared to go into your charts and rinse and repeat some of the things that we learned. Because we're always going to have opportunity to trade. It don't matter. You know what I mean? I wake up every day and know that I can make money doing this. So another thing that you're noticing on the 4-hour chart is the higher low scenario. When you start seeing the new higher lows, it hasn't came back down to 365. You can add your trend line in there, and let me change that color too. If y'all see too many colors and if y'all don't like it, just let me know. I can delete some of this stuff. But this is your higher low scenario. So the trend on the 4-hour is looking back bullish. You can call it an upward wedge because it keeps stopping at the 389, 390 area where we had the double top. But when you see that consolidation, always have in the back of your mind, more than likely, we're going to go retest the high resistance, the double top area. So if you was confident enough, and I told you guys to get a $400 call for July 17th, when the price was around about 372, I think that was the area we talked about on Sunday session, about 373. Because I understood that the goal is to get to 390 because of the 389 been so consistent for us for the last few months. That's what we got to be consistent at finding those type of trades and be confident. So 3 things, I showed you guys on a 4-hour, a consolidation. I showed you a double top. I showed you the bottom support, which never got back to 365. I showed you the first of the month trading. This is the first of the month trading. And then that's why people are going crazy, but we're used to getting the first of the month, right? So stay consistent, stay focused on that, and then we're going to break it down to one more time frame. Let's start with the 15, and then I'm gonna go to the 1 minute because it's a lot of people don't really understand the 1 minute time frame, but that is literally, I'm gonna show you something on the 1 minute. So here go to 15, real quick. Same thing. Everything is still touching the same areas. Consolidation on the 15 is right there, clear as day. It was fighting that resistance. Once we got above 381.75, that's when we had that nice move towards 384, and then we retested 390. It is a multi-top scenario, but it seems like it's still bullish and it's going to fight that area. So if we get above 390 this week, of course, I had all my levels in there for the people that just got in. I deleted them all, but I'm gonna be able to add in the rest of these areas above here. I think my next level is like 392. Then I got 401, something like that. But either way, notice, everything from the 4 hour works on the 15. And then you go down to the 1 minute just to show you guys a neat little trick for the day traders and people that want to get in on them day trades. There's areas of consolidations on all time frames. So where did I find this? So basically, this is is a unique situation seeing it come up that high, but you can see the consolidations on back here. You know what I mean? You see like a little small consolidation here. We have to, if you're a 1 minute day trader, it's the rule don't change. If you find that consolidation, you go to 1 minute consolidation here. Notice what happened when it broke out of consolidation. It had a nice move. So if you was a day trader, you would probably call it a nice move from around 382 up to about 385, right? You would have made that day trade, made some money, and notice where it came back and tested that resistance at the same area where it broke above around the 382. So no matter what time frame you guys are on, and this is the 1 minute, you know what I mean? The rules don't change, guys. Just stay consistent. A lot of the resistance that was showing in SPY was showing itself in pre-market. Another neat trick, right? You can use that pre-market run up, gap down, or gap up as a resistance support type of area. And then, boom, do the same thing with that, right? So boom, there go another consolidation. This pre-market, this is 4 a.m. all the way over to about 9:15, right? And then at 9:15, we had a big spike up here up to 387. And then, boom, boom. And then we had a nice continuation throughout the week. So never forget about consolidations and then direction. Never forget, pre-market does matter. You can find your support and resistance off of pre-market. You can find it, on, these are two consolidations on the 1 minute. Then it showed the direction. You can do it on the 4 hour. You can look for bullish engulfings, whatever you got to do. Just look for the things that you're familiar with, and you'll definitely take advantage of the trades. Another thing, is time. Another thing is time. If I put lines on every time we had a dip, they should almost correspond day by day, right? So let me go to the 30 real quick and show you guys this real quick. And I'm not trying to be here long. I just want to make sure you guys understand that is no reason to wait. You know what I mean? There's definitely opportunity to trade every day. Nothing big. Here go vertical lines right here. So this is 12:45. We had a nice little dip, and you can, 9:45, almost the 10 o'clock rule before we got the reversal candle on the 15. This is the AM on that dip. Cool. Come back over here. We've seen the consolidation. We had a little dip at 3:45 here. Here go the bottom support, 11:45 again. Right when the bullish engulfing showed itself on the 15 was at 11:45 to 11:30 to 11:45. Then we had a big bullish move. That's a good day trade there off of the consolidation lines. You see that. Again, back over here, this is 11:15. Around the same time again, we've seen the dip, we've seen the bullish reversal candles come in. Then we had a nice push towards that resistance again coming off of a consolidation. So forth and so on. This is 10:30. This was a little bit earlier. This is right after 10 o'clock rule, bullish engulfing. Then you had a move from 347 all the way up to 381. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that 10 o'clock rule is real. I told you guys there's a 11:30, 11:45 window of opportunity also. Here go 10 o'clock again. 10 o'clock rule gave us a bullish engulfing. Then you had a nice little spike back up to about 371, 379, I mean. That is what you want to see and notice and be consistent on, right? I'm not saying it to be like, man, I know everything and nothing like that. I'm trying to show you guys that there is a consistency in the market of when the market have an upside and have a continuation off of consolidation. There's a way that you can continue to trade no matter what and still make money. If you didn't want to do a whole weekly contract or get the $400 call for July, there was an opportunity for day trades throughout the whole week from 10:45, 11:45 to about 3:30, almost 3:45. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are starting to pay attention a little bit more to these type of things. SPY, again, we're looking for a break above 390. If we get that break, my next level for SPY is around the 392, then the 401. But it's definitely going to be on high alert going into this week, knowing that earnings for tech is going to be at the end of the month. So anybody got a question on what I just put together? And I started that from scratch, and you notice that all my numbers still coexist with what I've done 2 weeks ago. I mean, nothing really changes. It's just a different time and day. Anybody got questions? Y'all understand day trading and how that affects and how you can make a lot of money off of the day trades. And if your question is, what day trade should I get? Your day trade should be towards the resistance. So if pre-market show me a resistance at around 385 or 384, that should be your strike price when the price come down about 373 or 375. I mean, especially if it's a same day contract. Okay, I'll get it. I'll get it in a second. You can fix it again? I'm gonna fix it, baby. Anybody got questions on SPY?
I got a question, Dave.
What's up?
So does that go for just SPY as far as it looks like a 6-point growth, as you said?
Right. No, it goes for everything. The first of the month gonna give you the opportunity. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys Apple. I'm gonna show you the same thing with Apple when I told we talked about the 140 calls for September and the 150s. Let me eat something. I'm gonna show you guys Apple. I'm gonna show you guys Meta. I'm gonna show you guys a lot of different stocks that almost the same exact stuff is happening. It's just about that end of the month of June, definitely a good opportunity. They showed us a nice consolidation area. That should be your next target. So when I came in, I think I came in and said, look, everybody that made money from mid-June to the end of the month, it's time for you guys to stop and start recalculating what you want to do. And then, it came down to the 30th is where we found our bottom support, and then our consolidation started. And then from there on the 5th, we had that nice little move up. And then on the 6th, we had the breakout. So here go Apple. And I did that SPY chart, but I'm not going to redo Apple. I mean, I'm going to keep that kind of the same. Same thing with Apple. One thing about Apple that I'm noticing that, I don't know how many people has noticed it about Apple, but their overall downtrend broke. I mean, this week, when it did that bullish move towards 147, it broke the overall downtrend. Well, it really broke it 4 days before that. It really broke it at the 139 level. But that's good. You remember I told you guys when overall downtrends break, it's a good sign for a continuation. So here go that downtrend on the 1 day, and that breaking area from the downtrend. So now, of course, my target is 154. I believe that is going to at least go test that 154 coming up soon. But I think the buy-in for Apple should be around 139, 141, like, right there on that retest of the support. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my opinion. I mean, we may be wrong. It may come back down to 141 and retest the 136. But just know, this is that support at 136. That's that resistance at 141. Once we broke 141, we had a clean move to 147. I told you guys to get 141.50 calls at 130. So, being early, this was important. You feel me? Notice at 130 multiple times, that's that area to break. over this downtrend. You know, that was a downtrend area here. 130 was that resistance before it had the biggest move. We're back down to that same point again here. Zoom in. I'm not saying it's going to run back to 180. What I'm saying is the reason I put them out at 130 because I was comfortable at that support from what I've seen in past history. So let's see what happened. I'm not saying it's going to go crazy, but hopefully we can go reach that 153 target. Hopefully people jumped into them long 140, 150 calls because I felt like it's going to be valuable going into earnings, being in Apple at the best price. Then when earnings come around, even if we get a nice bounce for earnings towards 165, we put out 140s and 150s. So being confident in that is very, definitely very important. But the best sign I've seen so far is Apple downtrend breaking. If you didn't notice it on your own, there's a way that you can find it on FinViz, guys. FinViz showed you a clean downtrend break right here. This is the daytime frame. Resistance is 180 on the top, but you notice that the downtrend line did break even on FinViz. So if you don't notice it on your own, always use the tools that's around you and take advantage of the same trades. So congrats if you guys got any Apple whole shares or whatever, but Apple is a long-term stock. It ain't going nowhere. Anybody got a question on Apple?
I like Apple, man.
It's so easy. It's so
Me and Ken was talking about Apple maybe Friday. We mentioned the 145s, 150s before the market opened.
yeah, for sure. Them weeklies probably did amazing. Them weeklies.
Oh man, yeah, the 145 and the 150 were great.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The next stage, I mean, I think we're gonna do the one. I think we're gonna go test the support again. You know, let me go look at it again, break the time frames real quick, because I really want to get it at the best price. Usually it has a spike up. We may hit the 149 and come back to 144 on the 15, but it's gonna be something to watch, especially if you didn't get it at 130. And you want to get into Apple. Watch out for these supports. You feel what I'm saying? Like we may see 142, we may see the 144 before we get to the 141. I'll say pay attention. You never know. We may have a huge continuation and just run up and test the 153 off rip. That's why I bought so much time on them contracts, because I believe that, you know, the more time that you have on Apple going into this time frame, especially with earnings coming up, it'd be better for the contracts. So yeah, definitely dope. The weekly should be paying off, but my suggestion is buy it at the best prices, 144, 142. Like, don't wait and be like, oh, we're already at 150. Let me hurry up and buy it. Nah, you want the best prices. You know what I mean, the best price, especially if you're doing weeklies. If you guys, you know, took my suggestion of September, congrats, because that's a lot of time. I know that was expensive, but it definitely worked. But you want to be deep in the money for a long period of time. So what else? Anybody else got an opinion on Apple? I was gonna look at some contracts real quick for the weekly. 150s is coming in, of course. If you play the 150s, your target should be 149. I wouldn't hold them, you know, too long. I'll make my money off the weeklies. If you're doing some, you know, in between contracts, you want to buy a little bit more time, you can look towards August because their earnings is on July 28th. Don't forget Apple earnings. I mean, I'll write that down and set my alert. Apple earnings on July 28th. You have to understand why it's a great idea to buy more time. The 155 for that date is now 300. They're more than likely about $50, $75 when we talked about Apple at 130. But I was telling people get September because I believe that, you know, it may have a huge continuation through August, depending on how their earnings come up. I'm just trying to be prepared for a continuation. A lot of stocks been beat down. So you can look at August 19, 165s. They got a lot of volume also. 175s got a lot of volume. They're all reasonably priced right now. So if things, you know, start off the week slow again and we go back down to the 145s and the 141s, man, go long. Play that earnings, you know, because the week of earnings, we know more than likely they get some traction. So you can probably play that, make the money, and then look for an earnings call and then see how it go. You feel what I'm saying? So Anybody got a question? Do that make sense?
It makes sense.
For sure. That's why, I mean, this week was crazy. And I'll just sit back like, man, I hope people are paying attention when it's not crazy, right? When it's red. So the next on the list is Meta. What's up, dog?
Now, I was gonna say, yeah, because I'm out of them weeklies, bro. I'll be trading off momentum sometimes, but I
First
think
of
it
the month
is gonna
vibes
come
is
back.
real. I think people starting to understand that first of the month vibes is real.
What would you set your alert for on Apple? Like 145?
Of course, you're gonna set them both ways. You're gonna do, from where it's standing at now, and I'm on the 15-minute. I'm gonna do 149, and then I'm gonna do two supports, 144 and 142. Know what I mean? If once it hit 149, I expect it to go back down. I'm not gonna expect it to ride that wave out. And it may come back down to about 147. I mean, that's the resistance right now. You notice that 147 is pretty much right there. So of course, you want to have 153, for long range, have them big time frame resistances there. But yeah, just 149.33. If you don't feel like it's gonna reach that, you can just go 149 even. You can do 144.87. If you don't like that, just do 145 even. And so same thing and so forth and so on. If it breaks down, just do 143, and then 141 is that solid support / resistance on the bigger time frame. So
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm waiting on it 141.
yeah, because I think it's gonna it usually go retest that support before it take off. And with the earnings being at the end of the month, definitely could have that mid month downside like we always see. And then you'll be able to take advantage of it. It may retest that support at 141.64. So this is the 1 hour chart, so you can see the difference. So anybody else got questions on Apple? Meta, Facebook, earnings coming up on the July 27th. I'm talking about earnings now because I believe that the stock market is giving out a huge discount. And then now you're starting to see nice reactions on the way up. Meta came down to as low as 154 on the first, and then is at 170 now. I remember, I think some people made that day trade back here when Meta first tested that 170 from the 154 back in the end of June. But the same things apply. Hold on 1 minute. Y'all still here? We still locked in?
Definitely.
Meta. Same rules apply. We've seen, small areas of consolidations. Then we've seen a breakout reaction. That 154 has been consistent for Meta from the end of June. This is June 21st, 22nd. This is, July 1st. And then now you're starting to see it be bullish again on the 1 hour. We got the 50-day moving average. No, 300-day moving average is crossing over the 200-day moving average, as well as the 8-day just crossed 300 and all that. Okay, baby. I'm working. Can you please give me 5 minutes? Please? I'm on work too. Okay, go get your book, babe. Hurry up, please. Sorry, y'all. But the same thing. We see moving averages are crossing on big time frame. You see RSIs sitting at good levels. If you missed the 154 entry multiple times, I'll say wait to 176 And I know y'all like, oh, that sounds crazy. Okay, let's do a 175 above 173. That'll give you a little bit of room to play with. It's gonna be expensive, but 176 got to be the target though. Once we break above 176, we should be back on move towards the 185, 193, then 200. But again, earnings is coming up at the end of the month. Best suggestions is to be in early. If you missed out on them opportunities, let's see what happened here. If things start coming back down, we got 165 in there. We got 158, 159 for entries. Those are your supports below the 170. But just be prepared and pay attention to how these setups are going. Again, end of the month, I told you guys at the beginning of June, the end of June is going to be the best time to buy. I don't know if people believe me or not, but I told you guys, first of the month vibes is an easy trade. That first week of every month is probably the easiest time to trade. You should be making all your money in the first week of the month, and you shouldn't have nothing to worry about for the rest of the month. But if you're not doing that, if you're just doing day trades or still trying to find windows, be patient, because the opportunity is showing themselves multiple times, and we see it here. So this is Meta, double bottom on the 1 hour, back at resistance right now, looking to break 176. Earnings on July 27th. Anybody got questions or comment? What option to get, if that's one of the questions? A lot of things going towards mid-August. I know it seems super expensive, but now they're super expensive. But I see 200s coming in, and that's a long shot. Maybe we can make some money before then. I mean, this is your weekly. I see 180s coming in for the weekly. If you get the 180 on the weekly, look for the 176 for an exit. Or you can do a 175, of course, and look for that 176 test. But be patient. Be patient. Let's see, may have some puts, some short-term puts in there. I see some 160 on the short-term side of puts. So I think people are expecting the market to have a little downside this week because we had a lot of bullish candles coming into this week. This is the 1-day chart, 4 straight days of green. So, that's always a great sign, you know what I mean? But we may have some slowdown. RSI is not in a bad place though. So, I may be wrong. So anybody got questions on Meta? Target 176.15. We're sitting at 170.84 right now. Earnings is coming up at the end of the month. Expect a whole bunch of announcements the week before. Anybody got a question? Next on the list, Netflix. This is the 7/19 earnings. We know Netflix got beat down. The reason I'm looking at these because we all know you can make a lot of money during this season, up or down. So let's see how it go. This is the 1-day chart. Bottom support was 167. We're sitting at 187 right now. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart real quick. So boom, there you go. We went up. This is the 14th, mid-June. You're starting to see a consolidation start. By the end of June, you're starting to see, breakouts above the consolidations and testing those resistances. So it did run up to 193 back in the end of the June. Came back down to the 1st, of course. It hit 174, broke back above this, support / resistance at 177. We retested the 190 one more time. So this is Netflix. We know that the earnings is coming up soon. Above this 190, we should be able to see the 193 is confirmation line for a continuation. I'll say do a 205 call above 193. But if you guys, like that, resistance break at 190, depending on what happened, we can be able to pull off something for that one also. But the setup is there. The supports at 165 has been consistent for this. Netflix came down to 165 on the 12th of May, ran up to about $205, gave you a double top here. And then we broke right back down to the 163, 164 area again, gave you a double bottom and then we went right back retesting the 190. So again, I'm not saying a lot of these are going to go crazy this week. What I'm saying is that earnings season is here for the month of July. You can take advantage of trades. Just stay consistent on what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're buying in every time at 165 and you miss 165 buy-in, look for the next level to be able to capitalize off of it. So, that's pretty much it, man. I'm expecting traction before earnings on Netflix, on Apple, on Facebook, and definitely you could take advantage of those trades. Anybody got questions? Notice that every chart is almost exactly the same. They're testing resistances. Every chart. Okay, no Netflix convo. Okay, let's get to the banks. We talked about JP Morgan. And JP Morgan broke down this week furthermore also. I mean, so it has some more downside lower to about 110. So that was definitely, a huge downside. I also wanted it to hold the 113 and then the 112, but it came down to 110. We're back at 114. But of course, we got to get above 116 to see that move back towards that resistance of 119. 119 is the confirmation line for continuation. Once we get above 119.28, we definitely can start seeing some higher highs come out of JP Morgan. But the reason I'm bringing them up is why earnings is coming up on the 14th of July. Earnings is coming up. So I'm just want to trade the traction. I want to trade the energy. I mean, everybody got their own strategies, but when earnings season come around, we kind of switch things up a little bit and take advantage of what we got. Notice, a lot of contracts is being bought up for that 15th expiration date. 135s, it's got high open interest. The 120s, you see a lot of volume coming in for the 116s. And the one thing about the banks that I like is their contracts is not super expensive. The 116 call ain't nothing but 158. We're at 114 now. So you can imagine when that price came down to 110, them contracts is probably about 25 cents, 35 cents probably. So and that expiration date is for July 15th. So please, this is the week. This is that midweek run. We may see some traction coming out of the banks first thing tomorrow, and then it may die off for earnings. Either way, I'm gonna see how I move and see how I can strategize to be able to take advantage of those trades during this week. And the highest volume and open interest is the 120 call, and ain't nothing but 44 cents. Give me one. You just had one, didn't you?
No.
Yes, you did.
I didn't have chips.
Okay. Go sit, please.
Okay.
But yeah, we should have traction this week from the banks, knowing that earnings is here this week. And the banks should tell a story of what we should continue to see. Sometimes, when these big earnings come up for the banks first and their earnings be missed, it may slow down the rest of the earnings for the rest of the month. It may not be a good month to trade off earnings. So this week is crucial just because of the money. The banks is the money. So if the money ain't making money, what we gonna expect from the rest of them, right? So any comment or concern about JP? And last but not least, if you're looking at JP, of course you can add Wells Fargo to the list. Of course you can add Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. They all got earnings in the same week. So, just throwing that out there. But last but not least is Disney. I think Disney has not made their move yet. Their earnings is coming up in August 10th. And I think at this price point where we're at is a good opportunity. Again, I've been stressing about Disney, being so cheap for so long. It's going to be a time where they're going to reverse up and start getting some of that back. Their stock price came down to as low as $93. You notice it's still in the consolidation between 93 up to 97.50. What I want to do is a 105 call once we get above 97.5. And again, I'm trying to go all the way out to at least at minimum September. You know what I mean? September, August. If you be able to pull off a 105 for this week, if that traction come this week, I may be able to trade from 97 up to the 103. But it definitely has to happen. You know what I mean? So depending on how this week go, if we continue consolidation and it drops back down to 93.38, I'll be able to go long. But if it breaks that 97.5 and start moving towards that, 100, I'm definitely going to try to get into that 105 call for the weekly just to make that money up real quick and then see what happened at 103.26. But again, it's been beat down. A lot of these stocks been beat down. Majority of the stocks look exactly the same. But this is time to start paying attention. It's either make it or break it for a lot of these stocks. And I'm just preparing myself either way. Anybody got questions so far? And that's pretty much it. I ain't got nothing else. I will be coming back on the lives throughout the week. So hold on one second. Anybody got questions? Look at the chart.
About Disney.
What's up?
So if it starts going down towards a 93, what would be a good weekly on a put?
85.80.
Okay.
Yeah. It should be able to hit that bottom candle right here, and that's about $84.42.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And this is the weekly chart. But if we close again, I think we talked about this before. Where these candles close at on big time frame matters. So if this bullish candle at the end of the week close, we may not get a whole lot of movement. But if this candle close above the 97.50 by the end of the week, that's when we'll be able to pull off that 105 also. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's breaking out of the short-term consolidation. So
thank you.
Hey, can you check out XOM, Dave?
yeah, XOM for sure. Now, I hope y'all noticed that XOM did break below the 84, and then it came back down to 80, and then it gave you a bounce at 80. Right? Anybody else notice that? Anybody picked up on that? So here go XOM. This is the 5th of July. It broke down to the 6th. It's about $81. This 30 minute. It came down to about $80, $81 even almost. And then notice how it reversed and regained that 84 and then started to consolidate here. So we may have another pop coming up soon. You know what I mean? Pay attention. We may have another pop. If not, this will be a downtrend here. It'll have to break a 30-minute downtrend. Boom, boom. Boom. There go your downtrend here. So it's going to have to break that downtrend to get back to that 88. But I told y'all oil's going to slow down eventually because they've been running for 6-7 months. So I'm not surprised. We've been talking about oil and their downside coming for a little minute. Anybody else?
What's up, Dave?
What up, big bro?
Hey, can you check out Lockheed LMT?
Mm-hmm. I like
They got earnings. Yeah, they earnings on the 19th.
For sure. High dividends, consistent payout of dividends also. It like their support is 390. I had their support sitting, and that's from last year, so I'm gonna have to redo it all. But it looked like they came down to 390 before. That's crazy. Let's see what happened. Let's see what we got here. This is the 1 week chart. Let's put my quadrant lines in there. I'm gonna get the whole section. Take this whole section here. And Lockheed is a low volume stock. It's not a huge on volume wise. It does pay amazing dividends. It is a long-term stock. But make sure you understand that that volume is a little bit in between. So
Yeah, because I added it to my list a few weeks ago because of the defense contracts and stuff and the wars going on and all that. So I added it to the list. Whatever.
For sure, for sure. So that's the 1 week setup, and then I'm gonna break it down to the 4 hour for people that don't understand, how to chart. Start off with your 1 week, do your quadrant lines until you get consistent on, how it's supposed to look. Use your quadrant lines. It's easier. And then here go the 4 hour chart. So Lockheed definitely did come down to the support of the 403. It came lower than that, actually, to about 397, but it recovered the 403 quickly. Within another 12 hours, it kind of reversed, gave you a 3 king setup, and then it ran up to resistance at the 420 resistance there, that purple line, 420. And then once it retested, it kind of broke above it, and then it tried the 436, and then a huge, I don't know what this is, but it had to be some news come out, because that's a huge drop off on the 5th. And then, of course, we recovered the 420 again. So it's sitting at resistance now, resistance/support. We may have a retest of that 436 with their earnings coming up this week. But that should be your zone that you're trading in, between the 420 to the 436, or if it breaks below the 420, it should be down to about 403. And let me find out where that resistance in between here is, because it does have a resistance here too. And that resistance from the 420 is 425. So yeah, it's literally 425 was resistance on the 28th. And now that's becoming resistance again here. So let's see what happened tomorrow. And this is a low volume stock. Be prepared for that. So if you're getting something, I'll say buy something close to the money. And then if we do get that traction, we'll be able to see how it go. What's their EPS? Oh yeah, 6.39. They beat their last 3 too. So we may have a nice one. We may have a nice move out of this one. Great company.
They should definitely beat with this war going on, right? Unless the Democrats took some funding from the government or some shit. But I definitely think it should beat, especially with the consistency of the past few of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a big boy, man. So I don't think people are just, you can see the volume is only at 600,000 here. The average is, 1.3 million. A lot of people ain't really, bothering them too much. So when it moves, it should go big up or big down. You know what I mean? So let's see how that go for sure. Anybody else? If y'all want to talk about Boeing a little bit, I know Boeing, ran up to about 147 that one day, and then it kind of slowed down again at that consolidation area of 141. But it's been holding at 132 very, very, very well. So it looked like Boeing want more. You know what I mean? And Boeing is one of the ones. One of them other companies has been beat down. It came down to as low as 117. And that's crazy. And then, it had a nice spike back up. So it's been holding at 132 well now. And their earnings is coming up too. Anybody else got questions? I know who else looking at stocks. I know y'all cooking up on some stocks.
What's Snap looking like to you? I'm waiting on this gap on it. So I'm trying to time it, play it out, Snapchat, and then you talking about earnings for Facebook. So
take a look in the video, Dave.
Okay. Let me write these down. Hold up. Snap, NVIDIA. Okay. Let me see what we got over here. NVIDIA. And let me look at Snap first, real quick. I seen you point out some gaps in Snap.
Yeah, this is gap I'm waiting on. It gap down crazy.
You on
Back
the one
in
day.
what?
You on the 1 day. So
Yeah.
yeah, so honestly, it's back above the resistance. It should go test. Well, let's put our consolidation lines in there. That's the thing that I don't know if we're getting tricked on it or we're noticing it, but these consolidations have been consistent, very consistent consolidations throughout majority of all these stocks. You know what I mean? Notice that right there. You feel me? That alone can help you decide of what you want to do. You know what I mean? So, once we notice, consolidation, then direction, we're looking for a break above the $15.63. The bottom of that consolidation, I mean, now I'm keeping it at $12.70. So we're right there in between the two consolidations. I'll say confirmation, for a greater move back up to 21. I think that's the gap is already up to about $21. It has to be the $17 area. Now above 15, I'll be comfortable. Above what, 1565, whatever.
Well, 1564.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Lou said 1544.
Yeah, well, this is right. I just use the quadrant line. I mean, consolidation. If you feel comfortable at that level, yeah, go for it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just go for it. But $17 has to be the confirmation area, because if it go and test the 17, we may have another buy-in, old support, new resistance rule at the 15, and some change. So
That earnings is the 21st. I got.
oh yeah, okay, 7/21. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that definitely should be interesting, man. Let me see how their stuff look. And I've been playing Snap last year around the same time, same plays, but a little bit more expensive. I think it was a $50. It wasn't a 14. Yeah. So if it's the 21st, we should go longer on that. Let me see.
Yeah, I'll be thinking like August.
Yeah, I got August $18 and it's on nothing but 93 cents. So of $93 ask and the bid is 89. So you could probably get that down to 90. So yeah, that's not bad at all. For the weekly, for this week, 17s is coming in. 17s, man. They ain't nothing but 9 cents. And I know it seems impossible, but if that consolidation breaks, we know then. You feel me? Direction where we're going. So I'll put a star by that. That might be a good one. I like to see the long-term consolidations. You know what I mean? It's so easy to trade off of those, and it's so many stocks that's doing the same things that we have to start noticing some type of pattern that you can be able to take advantage of. So yeah, seeing that consolidation out of this one is definitely a good look. Yeah, I like that. That's not bad at all, especially for that price range. That's not bad at all.
Right. So he just, watching the market. I think it'll get some momentum with the rest of the social medias.
Yeah, with Meta and all that stuff going up. I got to read up on some of this stuff, man. I haven't really looked at Snap in a long time. But yeah, it's definitely, I love seeing them consolidations. It's so easy. The simplest thing you can do. IBM, I think Ken talked about IBM. That's coming up too on the 18th. Older company, does pay dividends. I want 145 to break for IBM. I've been looking for that 145 to break for a very long time, but it is in a downtrend channel. You know what I mean? And it's been in that channel for so long. But 145, 146 is confirmation for a huge continuation. So it haven't done it yet. So it's definitely, something to look at. And this is, this from last year. This is the first. This is May. This right here is June. It is picking up an uptrend. I do see higher lows. Is at 139, is at 140. May go test at 142 this week, 143. but their earnings is coming up too. Something to add to. That'll be crazy. But I will be back in the morning, giving you guys, point of view and what to look for. More than likely, it's going to be an easy SPY day trade. Take advantage of those consistently. It's probably the easiest trade out there. Anybody else got questions? Oh, NVDA. So we're back at that 150 area that we've been at NVDA multiple times. It actually came down to as low as 145. What's that? 141. That's crazy. We have to get above 158.
That's what I didn't know, man. Was he gonna come on down to that 124 and lost their support like that?
Yeah. I thought it was going, I wasn't looking at it, but yeah, I would have, if I would come at my chart, I would have looked at it and been like, yeah, 124 coming up next. But that's the trick, man. What you got to notice, man, like look the first of the month. This is the first, and then the 5th, they gave you a buzz, 4 days of green, 4 straight days of green. So the end of the month, I mean, I'm starting to trust it a little bit more and more. When that end of the month come and I see them lows, I'm rolling right into them midweek, for the next month. I mean, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
So it's so consistent to catch them end of the month. First of the month vibes, man. I love it. I love it, man. Hashtag first of the month vibe. But yeah, above this 158. Let's call it 160 for confirmation. 160.79. And yeah, we should be able to go retest that 171. But if we continue to go down, now that that 141 is that bottom support, if it breaks 141, now we can start looking at the 125 puts. You feel me?
I got you. All right.
Yeah, and then this is the 1-day chart. So you got to think you're going to see retests on small time frames, but also the retest has to happen on the big time frame. So when it breaks below that support, it retests that support again as a resistance. Notice it. You notice it here. Notice it here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just remember that once it broke below 158, I'm not saying to go ahead and grab something. I'm saying is just know in the back of your mind it's going to retest 158 eventually. And if it's around first of the month vibes, then boom, you're going to get your 158. Especially buying in at 145. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a nice move. Yeah.
It was a beautiful move. 141 it opened up at,
Mhm.
let me go, I could take the time. Like, that's crazy. That's a beautiful move. So that bullish engulfing on the 1 hour didn't show itself until 9 a.m. So exactly at 9:30, big bullish engulfing. 10 o'clock rule would have got you in at 145. And they ran straight up to 158. That's crazy. But and even if you miss, again, consolidations on small time frames. Once if you was reluctant, if you was like, I don't really like it, look right here, bro. What you see? What you see?
Oh, sideways movement. Yeah.
Sideways movement.
Yeah.
Your confirmation is above that line. I'm telling y'all, I can find I could trade anything. It don't matter. I recognize this. You feel me? And once you recognize it, then the moving average is crossed. You feel me? The 8-day moving average crossed to 50. That's and right here, right on that green candle. That's confirmation. We're about to go for another one. You feel what I'm saying? So be confident. And it's the 1 hour, moving average crossing. So big time frames, big reaction. Anybody else? So again, if you missed the first of the month vibes, if you missed that last live I did, on YouTube, chill out. We're going to have to wait for these resistances to break. We're going to look for some retests that supports, and we're going to be patient going into this week. We're not in a rush because we made our money last week, didn't we? We should be rich. Can't put out Google. Y'all should be rich, like rich. But you know what I mean? I need you guys to understand why these are working and why it's consistently, I talk about first of the month vibes and end of the month buys. You feel me? I write that down. First of the month vibes, end of the month buy. I like that. Make that a quote. Hashtag. Catch that. Anybody else? Y'all mad at me for not coming for the last couple of weeks. I know. Y'all was mad. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't gonna leave y'all no more, man. Anybody else got questions? Any stock that you guys have in mind? Anybody's going long on stocks? Anybody, is there any conversation? PayPal is down to 73. We're gonna have to look at fintech. Fintech still got gaps to be filled. Now, I mean, huge gaps to be filled. These are long-term stocks. If you like fintech at this price range, go crazy, because those are gonna be recovering. I don't know how soon, but they're definitely gonna recover.
Dave, you said something about penny stocks in the beginning of the live.
Oh, okay.
SNDL?
What it is?
SNDL?
Oh, shoot. The weed stocks? I ain't talking about them penny stocks. I was talking about BNGO, VR, what it is. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. I don't really be showing my stuff, but might as well today. This right here, guys, and this is for this is exclusive. This is the FDA approval list. Majority of these stocks are penny stocks. Some of these stocks we traded already. ZYNE. They have a phase 3 presentation on the 15th of July, right? So a lot of these, if you go through the list, and I'm not gonna sit here and go through every one of them, read up on what they're doing. I know some of you guys are in the healthcare sector. I can screenshot this to you and send it to you. But this is in date order of their catalyst dates, what's happening during that date. You feel me? FDA approvals. And you can take advantage of all of these stocks whenever something comes around like that. Prostate cancer for this company, data presentation. Now, I mean, like, this is huge, right? So VER, is it VERO or VR something? VRU. I just found out, me and Ken was together this weekend. They the ones that make female condoms. So their stock went crazy. That's not done. I'm not laughing. I'm just saying, like, people's asking online, how can they make money off of the Roe versus Wade decision? VERU, definitely had a presentation last week with an FDA approval for something with their, female condoms, and the stock went crazy. That this list is so important. You know what I mean? I don't show you guys all of my stuff. I really don't show you guys enough, but it's so much you can do with, penny stocks and a lot of things. It's just sometimes it's hard, to figure it out, but go here, figure out what they're planning, go chart it just like everything else. Look around that date time, if they're going to get approved or not, and then make a trade on the penny stock side, and you'll definitely make some money. Like MRK is right here. They got some catalyst dates coming up this month, but it's not really, they haven't been released yet. But you see, this is mostly all healthcare, pharmaceuticals, a lot of different things. So, please, if y'all want this list, I'll, copy and paste it to you. But there's a lot of things you guys can do. These are the penny stocks I mean, like, healthcare. Anybody else got questions? Let's look at MRK, man. MRK had a great recovery. Might as well look at MRK. I watched it. It's at almost $93 again. This is the 1 hour chart. You notice how MRK came down about, $90 on the first, but again, it was at $83 on the 17th. Once it got back above that 86, we had a nice move back up towards that 95. Then we had a small area consolidation above the 91 up to about 92. And you notice that we're right here at the 93. Our next move we're looking at is that same $94 move. And then the 95. I think 95 is confirmation area for continuation. But MRK definitely been given the opportunities too. I mean, so congrats if you guys kept up with that one. Oldie but goodie, because their contract is extremely cheap and they really go for some money once they go. And their earnings is coming up July 28th also. So, and you've seen that on that FDA approval list, they got a presentation coming up also. So they got a lot going on this month. Anybody else? Anybody need that FDA approval list? Anybody need this list?
I need it, bruh. If you could like message to me, DM to me, text it to me.
Yeah, for sure. And just go through it. If you see something you like, you know, we could talk about it. And then we'll go from there for sure. I don't mind. I look at the list, but it's, you know, it's a lot, you know, especially that ain't your really field of expertise. It's definitely a lot. And you can be, you could get it early, man. Some of this stuff is for August. I mean, get in those early, man.
I bet PLUG used to be on that list.
Yeah. Pfizer on here now. They got something going on August 6th. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Region. Remember everybody was talking about Region? They got something going on here.
Yeah, definitely remember that.
Yeah, man. I mean, we used to play healthcare heavy when pandemic was here.
I used to always look for them phase 3 trials.
Right.
Them phase 2, them clinical trials and stuff.
Right, for sure.
Because though, man, I've seen so many therapeutic companies shoot from $1.77
Who
to
you telling?
$40.
What? That's why the beat on instead of power in this list. This is a super, super powerful list, bro. ZYNE, we traded that before. They go into phase 3 on the 15th of this month. You know what I mean? Bruh.
What I used to do is I used to make it personal whenever I dealt with the pharmaceuticals because there's so many of them.
Right.
So, you know, if I had a family member or something going on, and I see what kind of companies they had to try and develop cures or, you know, medicines for it. Right. And I follow those companies just to make it a little bit more personal.
No, for sure, for sure. That makes sense. That makes sense, man. It was familiar, being familiar with stuff. You know what I mean? Yes, but for example, like this one right here, this is ZYNE. This is the 1 hour chart. It came down to 84 cents at the bottom. You know what I mean? And these are penny stocks. So we've seen penny stocks go from 84 cents to $5. It's easy trades. And I think this one got options too. I think we traded this one before. But yeah, you notice my quadrant lines, it's the same thing, man. So big spike here. This must have been the announcement on the 9th of June. And they gave you a big spike to 140. Came back down about 98. And now it's playing with the 126, 120 area. So never forget, man, penny stocks are definitely, you know, we may have to come bring them back. We may have to bring them right back. But penny stocks is dope, man. It's low volume now too, man. Nobody on it. But they got that presentation this week. Maybe huge. Anybody else? Well, I appreciate everybody for joining, man. Tomorrow we back in the morning. More than likely, I'm gonna set up something for the pre-market, and then we'll be able to make a trade first thing in the morning. Let's get this ball back rolling, full steam ahead. Can't look out for Ken watch list. He definitely got some things cooking up. Congrats on whatever you guys got going on. If you went long on any trade, congrats. Don't forget, you want to catch the earnings and you want to catch the reaction after earnings. So the summertime, a little bit different way of trading, but it's definitely big results during this time of the year. So if you guys remember from last year, we caught big trades last year. Let's try to bring everything back this year. So congratulations to everybody. God bless y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Hannah.